Alrighty, and we're live. So today's live stream is going to be finishing off the React course in the Odin project. I have a few more articles to get through, and then I'm going to be moving on to databases after that. So that's my plan for today. Again, it's another study stream, so you can study along with me or what have you. We're going to be going through these concepts and writing some notes. And yeah, so that's about it. Let's get started. Okay, so let's retool. Regrip, reacquaint ourselves with this stuff. Oh yeah, welcome Casey. Hope you're having a good evening / night. Yeah, okay, so then we do something like this for this guy. What the fuck? Oh, because it puts... okay. So I can just paste it like this. Okay. Okay, so it's dependency... declare... There's one situation where this isn't a practical solution. If bar or baz are primitive objects, use memo / use callback for dependencies on use effects. Yeah. So like cached dependencies sort of thing, right? Okay, react.memo. Okay, yeah, so you can memoize the whole component. As we know, can also memoize the whole component by wrapping functional component definition in memo. Now React will only re-render count button when its props change. Dual counters re-rendered, those functions will not be new, and therefore React will re-render both the count buttons anyway. Yeah, so, but then you have to, I think I actually wrote that down, didn't I? You have to use memo in conjunction with use memo and use callback for updating props in another component. As the prop state is still being updated externally, yeah, i.e. in another component, right? Good. Now we can avoid the so-called unnecessary re-renders. Computationally expensive calculations. Built-in hook for React. Benefit to use memos that you can take in value. Yeah. Yeah, so we can do something like this. Auto-magically make the user's hardware faster. That would be funny if this was a typo. Auto-magically. Anyway. But you can make it so you never have to calculate the same value twice in a row. Yes, exactly. So for any combination, memoize for the same combination of iterations, multiplier. Yeah. Every abstraction comes with a cost. Aha, programming. Don't repeat yourself, wet. Write everything twice. Avoid hasty abstractions. Okay. Main takeaway. Do not apply these abstractions unless the abstraction cost heavily outweighs, or sorry, the abstraction benefit heavily outweighs the costs, its costs. Avoid hasty abstractions. Measure costs before and after first. To see if performance optimization is necessary. Okay, good. There's the end of that. Yo, hello, Tyler. Welcome in. All right, that's the end of that article. Now if you do use ref, does this have exercises at the bottom? It might not. No. No exercises. Okay. So we have to go through these, and then I'm going to leave the compiler. I'll probably like add that just so I have it. React compiler. Can implement caching automatically. I'm just going to leave it at that. However, it probably, my guess is that like using the React compiler probably incurs a cost much greater than just using a use memo call or something. At least it would incur a cost initially when compiling, right? It wouldn't be a runtime cost, I guess. Anyway. I guess maybe it could be depending on how it's compiled, but alright. Yeah, so it's good to use ref. Got a lot of this probably repeated up here. So I'm going to make sure that I don't have any duplicate information. Yeah, we have the parameters. I'll just say like takes one argument and show value for the reference. Yo, anime, welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. This fine. I guess it's for you. It's Wednesday morning, right? You made it on time today. You did. Yeah, I know. I know. Depending on where you are, it's a really unideal time. Like I think in, parts of Asia, it's really early in the morning, or in Europe, it's like in the middle of the night. Like I know it's not ideal for most, but it's when I can do it, right? So, senior around day 30, but I finally started learning web dev after I finished all my uni exams. Nice. That's awesome. I appreciate the support, Ty. Okay, so returns an object with a single property. Okay, so yeah. You can mutate the ref. Okay, so yeah. Do I have that it's mutable here? It's currently 11:45 p.m. Got you, anime. So you're in like so you're in your like Western Europe. Got you. Yeah, I know it's late. You have to be awake as well for my 6 hour study. That's no worries, anime. If you have to go early, that's no problem. But I appreciate you stopping by anyway. Yeah, so I should probably put that's mutable, right? Somewhere. The references are mutable. Unlike state. Yeah, it has to be called at the top level. How's it going, Abo? Welcome, welcome. What language are you working with? I'm learning React. I'm here. This is what I'm working on this stream. It's mostly a study stream. So I'm finishing up the Odin Project React course, and I have one more. I'm finishing up the assignment for this last lesson, and just studying like use ref and use memo and stuff like that. And then after that, I'm going to be moving on to databases. Could you make a website with React? You absolutely can. It's a front-end library that works with JavaScript, if you've heard of that. So it basically uses JavaScript to add extra functionality. You're a game developer. Oh, I got you. Okay. Cool. What game engines do you use, or do you use a game engine? Because I know there's a few out there. Junior ref does not trigger re-render. Yeah, so I already knew that. You saw the stream and decided to come and say hi? Well, I appreciate that, Abo. I appreciate that. Using Godot, also learning Unity. Nice. I've actually played around in Godot a little bit. Well, I knew one of the people in my university that ran the game development club out of the computer science program, and they all use Godot. So I played around with it briefly. It's a really interesting game engine. I couldn't make anything with it though. Unity is a pain. Yeah, I've never used Unity before. Way back when I was you're working on a game now like Brotata, but you only have one bullet. That's really interesting. Yo, blueberries, what up? One bullet. That's kind of. Do you like control the bullet then? Like how does that work? I was super into game dev when I was young, Abo. That's how I originally learned how to code, kind of. I used GameMaker 8 way back in the day. If you're familiar with GameMaker. I mean, I think it's changed much since then. Like, I used GameMaker 8 like 15 years ago. Like, around 2010, 2011. That was what I used to code, quote unquote, but it wasn't really coding. I'm doing well, blueberries. Just prepping for my move and, doing some studying. But I hope you're doing well. I hope the finals, I think you're doing finals, right? I hope those are going all right. This means the refs are perfect for storing information. It doesn't affect the visual output. Yeah, so that's the important. Should data in refs should not affect visual output. Very sleep to survive. The last one's tomorrow. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, because you're getting into like mid-May now, right? Like it's the 12th of May. Yeah. But you got this. I believe in you for sure. I think you're gonna be good. I literally took when I did my last final last year, I had like 2 hours of sleep. Just because I couldn't sleep. I was too stressed out. And I think, what was that final? I think it was like algorithms and complexity or something. It was a really hard class. It was basically like DSA 2. That was brutal. Okay. Gotten 7 hours in the last 2 days. That's really good. 7 hours is good. Thought you weren't going to go through the Odin database project. Yeah, I don't know, anime. I think I'm going to. Just as far as documenting the process. It'll only take me like a stream or two. I'm gonna just skim it. I'm not gonna write notes for it. Oh, total. Oh, I got you. I thought you meant like each night. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Got you. Yeah, no, I think I'm just gonna skim the databases and I'll do the one project or the exercises. Just so I get it done. Just because, you know, I don't know. I kind of am wishy-washy on these things, so it's very ad hoc. Okay. By storing a ref, you can store information between re-renders. Changing it does not trigger re-render, and then so it stores information between re-renders, persists between re-renders. Hardest class to send was stats. I don't know why, but the class kicked my ass. Yeah, stats is not easy. It's interesting because I took stats in my first degree. Like when I did my biology degree, I took stats, and they counted it as like, because when I went to my computer science, I needed stats as a prerequisite to get into my advanced program. Like advanced being that I didn't have to do a lot of the prerequisite courses, or not prerequisites, but like a lot of the first year courses I got to skip. And they took my biostats as counting as their stats, which was interesting. Even though it was pretty different. So, okay, so we have a click counter. The component uses a rep to keep track of how many times the button was clicked. Click count is only read and written in an event handler. Clicked 1 times. Clicked 2 times. Okay, cool. Stopwatch. Okay. How old am I? I'm 25, anime. Do not write or read ref.current during rendering. Yeah, so okay, so it returns a current. Yeah, so it returns, I should probably put that somewhere. Returns an object with one property, current, that contains the reference data. You have 2 degrees at 25? That's wild. Not really. I mean, I don't know. I graduated high school at 17, so it took me 7 years to get 2 degrees. My first one took me 5, and then my second one took me 2. And the reason it took me 2 is because I got in. It was a specific program for second degrees. So basically, you could only get into that program if you already had a degree in some other STEM related field. So like because I had a biology degree, I could finish my CS degree in 2 years. It's basically like I got a bunch of prerequisites that I didn't have to do, like the stats and all that stuff. The calculus and shit. Yeah, my friends are like, what do you mean stats is easy? But then I tell them it's calculus-based version. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's harder. The stats that I had to do for biostats was very much it was not calculus. It was like doing like regressions and stuff like that, which are more it was more application based. You should become a biohacker. Yeah, I mean, I do have like a university level biology. However, the one thing is the biology degree that I have was a specialization in ecology in forestry. So I didn't like I did my like final paper. Like I wouldn't really call it a thesis, but I did like my final paper on nutrient transport across riparian zones in like southern Ontario. So that was what I did. And I use southern Ontario as my example because that's an agricultural area in Canada. So um, yeah. So it was like NPK, so nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. And then how that affects the like how different like whether it's like fertilizer or like brush that's been left on fields influences the nutrient flow. Yeah, exactly. Those are called mycorrhiza. So essentially, mycorrhiza. Yeah, mycelium is like the web, but mycorrhiza are these fungi that live inside of root bulbs. Okay, so the tree kind of encapsulates the. This is turning into a biology lesson now. Encapsulates the fungus, right? And then it kind of has a little place to live, and then through the roots, it can kind of spread its mycelium, which is kind of its like webbing, and then it can give trees specific nutrients, specifically nitrogen and phosphorus, that it can't get as well otherwise. Yeah, it's really cool. And the thing is because fungi is a modular organism, you can have a single individual fungus that spreads across acres, or like, you know, like 50 acres of land is one individual. Like if you consider it an individual, but it's essentially genetically identical. So the one fungus is like kind of all over. You're actually good at biology. Thanks, anime. I mean, I did study biology, so you know that was my first degree. Because again, I wanted to be a high school bio teacher, right? That was my goal. Um, actually, yeah, exactly. I did have a well actually moment. One guy's fascinating. Yep, 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 yep. I won't beat the allegations, the actually allegations. Okay, so then do not write or read. Yeah, so that's the other thing too. Do not write or read ref.current directly. Would you even use your biology degree? I hope so. Maybe someday, anime. I thought of working for like a bioinformatics company, but those are like bioinformatics being like biology and computation kind of combined, but it's really niche. You just did teaching us about mycelium, yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot of cool fungus stuff. Like lichen too. I don't know if you guys know lichen, but lichen is a symbiotic relationship between fungi and algae, actually. Like lichen isn't a plant at all. It's actually algae that's on land. And fungus. So essentially the fungus provides the structure, and then the algae is inside of these little kinda, it's not moss. Moss is actually a plant. So like moss actually is a plant in the sense that it has a basic root structure, and it's like related to all other plants like trees and ferns and grass and all that other things. But lichen is its own, it's like algae. Like it's completely not related to plants. I mean, it's similar, it's photosynthetic, but it's not related. Met in an office or work related stuff? Yeah. I was mentioning bioinformatics. It's essentially like biostatistics, but I don't know. It's very hard to get work in that kind of area. It is a pretty powerful toolkit for jobs. It is, but for very niche jobs, blueberries. it's very like hard to find specific bio CS jobs, like, because there's already the CS market's already cooked kind of, so like combining the two, it's really tricky. And the other thing too is like my biology degree is not in medicine or molecular biology or anything like that. It's more like forestry and ecology and stuff, which is not as applicable to, you know, computational stuff. Like I couldn't do like medicine, for example, because like I don't have any of that knowledge. But anyway, yeah. So changing our ref, we already went through all this stuff. Cool. Manipulating the DOM with a ref. Okay, I'll start there after this break. I know I kind of yapped for a bit about biology, but you know, give you guys a little sneak peek into my other stuff that I that I learned, you know, over the years and whatever. So spent the other thing with my biology degree though is it was kind of shitty. I did most of it in quarantine. Like the pandemic hit in the middle of my second year of biology, so my entire third year and almost of my fourth year I had to do completely from home, which sucks because when you want to do like wet labs and stuff, like dissection, like you can't do any dissections, you can't do any fun like things like other groups like prior years before us would like go out into like the lake and the pond and like collect samples and do lab studies and stuff like this, but we didn't get any of that, which was kind of sucky, but you know, it is what it is. And then we went back, and then I actually like lowered my course load over COVID because I wanted to, like, I could have finished my degree in 4 years, but I took 5 because COVID sucked and I kind of wanted to wait it out. So I like one of the years I just like only did like a half course load just so that I could hopefully wait for things to normalize so I could get 1 full year back in on campus. Which again, it delayed me a year, but like whatever, it's not a big deal. You had a really hard time in high school during COVID? Yeah, I can't imagine having done high school in COVID. I thank God I graduated before that. Barely. Well, not really barely. I graduated 2 years before. I graduated in 18, so that's good because I think I would have actually died if I had to do high school COVID. Like high school was hard enough as it is, but or even worse, like elementary school. Like I can't imagine how much like for little kids that are like learning how to read, like how that screwed them up like immensely. You hadn't developed good study habits. Yeah, that's the one benefit that I had, I guess. You were a high school grad at 18? No, I meant 2018 anime. I graduated high school in 2018. Should have mentioned that, like 18 being the year. I actually graduated at 17. I was a high school grad at 17 because I was a little bit younger. Some of my peers were 18, like other students, but I was 17. So yeah. But again, when you're 17, and I mentioned this before, and some of you are younger in here. I know like Blueberries is maybe a little older, but you know, like in your early early 20s, stuff like this. But when you're 17, you don't know like what the hell you want to do. At least I didn't. I had no idea. 21 got you, okay. Yeah, so you're like, yeah, 4 years younger. Yeah. So, but you know, like at 17, even at 21, like at 21, I just decided that I wanted to pursue computer science. Like that, like I was 21 when I figured that out. How does Pomodoro work? So basically I work for 25 minutes and then I take a break for 5 minutes anime, and then it's 25 minutes work, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes work, 5 minutes break. However, I do also chat during the time as well. What's up, no name? Welcome. Yeah, 21. Yeah, 21 was a very fateful year. For me, that was when I applied to my computer science. program. Although I didn't get in until I turned 22, but I did apply before that. And I also took it upon myself to do a lot of prerequisite courses. Like I took an intro CS course and calculus. I caught up on calculus, high school math, stuff like this. But no, that was the year that I like figured it out, I guess. Like figured out what I wanted to do. I spent 19 and 20 just being depressed about my life and COVID and like in my degree and stuff like that. I mean, it was interesting, but like I don't know. I guess I think a lot of people were in that boat, right? During that period of time, a lot of young people anyway. Anyone between the ages of like 13 and 21 when COVID hit would know what I'm talking about. All right, let's get back to. Was it kind of depressing regardless? Yeah, exactly. Blueberries, exactly. And like, yeah, I don't know. I was 19 when it hit, so kind of a shitty time for that to happen. But you know, it is what it is. Okay, let's get back to it. Manipulating the DOM, yes. Okay, so we have that, and then we do the input. Okay, so this is our DOM manipulation. So focusing a text input. Right. Scrolling an image into view. Oh, we got some cats. And then scroll to index. Didn't find COVID all that bad. Well, it depends how old you were, anime. If you were younger, maybe it didn't affect you as much. I don't know. I was just hitting a stride with school and like friends and stuff like that, and then it all kind of. But again, it was different for everybody, right? I actually don't know this function. Scroll to index. Oh, that's just custom here. Okay. List node, list ref.current, and then we use a scroll into view. Interesting. I'm assuming this is like a default function. Dot scroll into view. Ah, it is. Okay. Scrolls the element's ancestor. Containers such as the element. Huh. Interesting. I think I often forget the fact that a solid portion of my high school experience was interrupted by a pandemic and how it might have left lasting effects. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true for a lot of people your age, Blueberries. Like, that's closer to my brother's age. And like I have cousins that are your age too. That's cool. Set is playing. Huh. Okay. Exposing a ref to your own component. Sometimes you might want to let the parent component manipulate the DOM inside of your component. Ref and the parent pass the ref. My input there. And then you use the input ref. Okay. I think I got the... Avoiding recreating ref contents. React saves the initial ref value once and ignores it on the rest renders. Okay. Avoid recreating ref contents when initializing. For example, you're probably 13 or 14. Yeah, you were much younger. That's completely different. Like, I think anyway, I don't know. I feel like if I was 13 when COVID hit, I wouldn't probably have affected me as much. Because I was pretty, like, loner when I was 13 already. But, like, when I was 19, you know, skip ahead, I was already kind of, you know, figuring my stuff out. Like, I had a friend group and stuff like that. Like, it was a little different. Still calling this function whenever you render. Okay, so yeah. So, for example, don't initialize an object with a constructor as the initial value, as each render will re-initialize. Instead, check if ref.current is null before initializing. You gotta stop sitting here refreshing Canvas waiting for grades. Did Canvas fix itself, Blueberries? Because that was the one that got hacked, right? I hope that, you know, got fixed. I haven't been following the news since I heard about the hack, like last week or something, right? Oh, your school's got fixed. I got you. Okay. Is Canvas a thing where each school kind of has its own like tenant of the? Yeah, because we have that at work. Where like, for example, like either school or other workplace has what's called a tenant, which is basically an instance of a software, whether it's Canvas or, you know, a larger example would be like Azure or something like that. Like it has an instance of it, and then so individual instances are controlled by the tenant. Posted saying they came to an agreement with the hackers. Oh, interesting. That's crazy. That's to me that's so crazy that like hackers can just, I don't know. I guess it's just life. How to avoid null checks when using Reflator. If you use a type checker, no one always check for null. You can try a pattern like this. Here the player itself is nullable. However, you should be able to convince your type checker. Okay. You sure they were getting a lot of pressure to do that? Yeah, I bet. Need about losing Canvas. That's a completely different conversation, Anime. I think Canvas and Python is not the same thing. We're talking about an LMS solution, like learning management system. It's like an online portal for like courses and stuff. It's called Canvas. But yeah, sure, if you want to learn like how Canvas works in Python. I think that's a different thing, right? Like that's like for like drawing stuff, right? Hey, well, there is an API with a Python wrapper. Interesting. Maybe. Sorry, I was assuming, but I feel, I don't know. I feel like, why would you do that? I don't know. So let's do the troubleshooting. I'll probably write that like down here. Troubleshooting. Cannot get ref to custom component. Your own components don't expose refs to the DOM nodes inside of them. Refs are not exposed to DOM nodes by default. Have to be passed explicitly to child components via a ref property. Yeah. Oh, that canvas is completely different? Yeah. Canvas lets you generate a token for your own account, but doesn't let you do much without admin perms? Yeah, because you need your own tenant, right? Like tenant being like, yeah, like in like school. And then that probably costs like, if I know anything about enterprise software, it probably costs like tens of thousands of dollars to have a tenant. And you need to run it on the cloud, which is another thousands of dollars, right? You probably host it on something like Azure or AWS or something like that. Some sort of infrastructure or infrastructure as a service platform. Yeah. Okay, then the page can get a ref to it. Okay, so that's pretty much the only troubleshooting step. Okay. So use ref instead of query selector. All right, let's do this guy in here. Coming from vanilla.js, the ideal approach of accessing and manipulating elements involves the use of document, blah, blah, okay. Rather than any of the documents API. Manipulating the DOM directly with these API methods can lead to unexpected behaviors. Your dad's been wanting you to learn wanting you, like you or me? Azure and AWS, yeah. Remember when AWS went down and about half the internet went down? Yeah, exactly. It's useref, or sorry, not useref. AWS, I'm like React brained right now. AWS, what's the other one? There's Google. There's Azure, AWS, and then there's a Google one. Is it like, I want to say it's like Firebase or something, but I'm not 100% sure. Google IaaS, what is it? Google Cloud? Is that what it is? It's just Google Cloud? Yeah, I guess it's just Google Cloud. I thought it was called something else, but... Firebase is one, but that's like a specific product. Oh, I got you, okay. Yeah, okay, so let me see. Google Firebase. I remember seeing that somewhere for something. Mobile and web app development platform. Firebase services to help you in AI agents build. Oh, okay, so it's got an AI-ified. That's great. Looks like shit. All right. There are other smaller infrastructure as a service providers. Google Cloud Platform was the full name? Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah, I would say probably Azure is the most relevant, unfortunately. Like, Azure's everywhere in the IT world, because a lot of IT, especially public sector, rely on Microsoft infrastructure. Oh, nice. Blueberries. That's awesome. Yeah, no, the thing with Azure, they don't give you anything for free. And then, like, the base tier for Azure is, like, stupid amount of money. Like, even if you want to buy a single VM, it's, like, hundreds per month. Or, like, some ridiculous, like, stupid amount. Like, I think we're using a third party. Like, we can't, I don't know. We couldn't switch to Azure just because of the costs, at least for our VMs. So... okay, so race conditions. Multiple components are trying to manipulate the same DOM element. Race conditions when multiple... if/when multiple DOM elements try to manipulate the same components. Cannot type today. Accessibility issues. Yeah, it is wild. it's you know, if you're like, they're relying on like mostly private sector that can pay like stupid bills every month, but you know, if you're like, you know, like government funded or whatever, it's like you only have so much money to spend on this stuff, right? Like it's not even feasible. Sometimes some of the prices I see like in some discussions that I'm in, it's just like stupid. But like at an enterprise level, like business to business, it's like actually like you have to retune what you think expensive means. Like for instance, like we have a service that we pay. Like if we pay $1,000 a year for a service, that would be considered cheap, right? Or even $2,000. If we pay $1,000 or $2,000 for a service, that's cheap. Whereas like something that's more expensive would be more like 25,000 or like $30,000 a year. Basically, an entire, almost like half a salary, basically. Yeah, accessibility issues. Users rely on assisted. Change the order structure. Can change structure of content reactively, which may mess with assistive. I think that's how they keep themselves on top, by having expenses. Yeah, well, that's why Microsoft is as rich as it is, honestly, at this point. Like, Microsoft isn't getting rich off of you buying Windows for $100. Like Windows Home. That's, first of all, don't do that anyway. But I'm just saying, if you were to buy Windows from that, or whatever, they're getting rich off of basically infrastructure. Like large companies using their infrastructure. That's where they're getting rich. That's like a significant portion of their it's well over 75% of their gross income, I would think. Like as a company. Okay. Inefficient updates. Manipulate the DOM directly. The browser needs to recalculate the layout. Yeah. DOM manipulation leads to re-renders, which can be slow. Do you know where I can apply for internship positions in Canada, like a site or something, maybe a web dev agency as well? You know what, Anime? You can... That specific question, DM me on... If you have me on Discord, send me a DM. I can let you know. But it's not... I'm not going to say on stream just because I, you know... But I know of a couple. But you can send me a DM. I can DM you. Again, it's kind of tricky. There are government websites though. If you do some digging, bro's got the method. Nah, I don't have the method. I just don't want to share like government shit on stream. I do not have the method. I got actually the place where I got my internship. I volunteered like when I was like years before that. I had volunteered there and did other things, and like people there knew who I was, so that's kind of like I kind of had like not an in necessarily, but like I had like HR was aware of who I was because I had done some volunteer work for them like years prior. So again, it was kind of lucky that it all kind of lined up the way it did. And again, in these days, you kind of have to, you know, take what you can get when it comes to these kinds of things, right? You have to, you know, leverage existing connections and, you know. Is that Obsidian? Yes, it is. It is Obsidian. Use ref for form validation. validation. The approach I use accommodating manipulating the DOM directly. So we have the use. Okay, so this is this. So input ref. With use ref, the function that validates the user input, handle submit, and the state variable. So we have a reference to the input that changes, that updates the reference when the input changes, field input value changes. So like e.g. const value equals input ref dot current dot value. However, wait, hold on. Input type ref on change handle input change. Where's the handle input change? Handle submit. It's random X here. Where is this function? I'm not seeing it here. Maybe they meant to put handle change? So when you pass a ref to the... Okay, yeah. Okay, so you attach it to the input, I see, okay. And then attach the ref to the input element, like, oops, input ref equals input ref, right? So then that attaches that. So this current dot value is the input value. Actually, this order is backwards. When, I should say when the input ref is attached to the input element like this. Okay. Yeah, something like this. What method? So here in this return, I don't know if you can actually see it. Let me scroll up. There's I know my face cam's down there. So this on change here is referencing handle input change, but there's no handle input change function in this form component. There's just a handle submit and a handle change. I think they meant to put handle change here, but I mean it's not a big problem. I kind of know what's happening, right? And then so you put this guy inside of yeah, so you would do like input for this specifically, you do like a const in custom ref input or just input. Let's just like, I'm just gonna, oh, I'll do that after the stream. Do what after the stream? Sorry, I forgot. I don't remember what we were talking about related to that. Okay, so this is handle submit, okay. And then so you would do like something like const. Oh, you were minutes back in the stream, got you, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, so use ref null, and then like some dots here. Hey Ben, how am I doing? I'm doing pretty decent, Leo. How are you? Yeah, sorry, I was just like, what is going on? So it'd be like, and then be a const handle change. And then we'd have like consts, and then we do like const value equals input ref dot current dot value or something. And then just other shit down here. And then we do a return. And then input. You're 7 minutes behind stream. Ah, okay. That's good, Leo. I'm glad. We're just finishing up the React course, Leo, and then I should be done by the end of the stream. So exciting stuff. And then, actually, I should probably do, I'll do type is text ref equals input ref, and then on change. So that on change here should be handle change, right? Which I don't know why that doesn't, oh, because it doesn't have a closing tag. There we go. Yeah, so something like this. Cool. Let's take another 5-minute break. Use ref to animate DOM elements. Just wanted to type out that heading. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a good Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning. After React will be Node.js. Well, I'm going to do a brief detour into databases, Leo. So that'll probably be like a stream or like half a stream. I don't know how long it'll take. But I'm going to skim through this. I'm not going to go into super detail with the databases because I already know SQL. So like, I'm not going to say I'm a SQL master or anything, but you know, I'll do this exercise at least. You know, skim through these documents. I'm not going to probably write detailed notes or anything like that because I already know all of the query types and all these things. The filters. So, and then after that, it's Node.js, yes. So, the brief little detour. And then the Node.js course is kind of quite involved. So, this will probably take us another couple months to get through. But, you know. Yeah, and then after that, I'm going to start building projects. And just learning more. So, yeah. That's, you know, in the plans. Hopefully I finish, I don't know if it's possible to finish the Node.js by July. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, no, then I have some ideas for some beginner projects that I should do. What major project am I planning after the series? I have a couple options. One of the ones that I'm planning out is actually my own Pomodoro app, kind of like Pomo Focus. It's not even really a major app. I'm probably going to start with a couple minor apps, like a Pomodoro app. I want to make a Sudoku game, maybe, you know, some other like little web, whether it's a game or like there was another one. And I thought this would be kind of a good full stack app is, I don't know if any of you have played Train Dominoes or Mexico Train Dominoes, but I was like, you know what, this would be an interesting React full stack app. You could make an account and like play with different people or something. I don't know. I was playing it the other day and I was like, yeah, this would be kind of interesting. So I don't know. I've got a couple ideas bouncing around in my head. How many lessons are in Node.js? Let's see. 21 lessons and then 9 projects. So that's quite a bit. So in React, there were 23 lessons, but only 3 projects. So the Node.js is a lot more project heavy. However, the JavaScript course will be forever. Like, this was the longest one for sure. The JavaScript course. And then I think probably Node.js will be second longest, and then React, then intermediate HTML, CSS, then advanced HTML, CSS. And then databases, of course, is going to be short, but yeah. I don't know. There's a couple ideas. I don't know. I don't really want to make anything super big or super, multifaceted. What am I working on, Yash? I am working on, I can actually do exclamation mark working on. And see there, I always update that. So I'm studying refs and memoization and React, and then after that, I'm going to move on to the databases course, or at least get a start on it. So that's the plan for today. Just kind of doing some more studying and hanging out with chat. So as usual. Good to see your everyday progress. It motivates me. Well, I hope so, Leo. That's kind of, what I like to be here for, to kind of motivate the community and also motivate myself, because you guys help me just as much as I might help you. So, when I show up every day, it kind of, I know you guys are, going to be here. So how often do you use AI to help with your learning? I don't use it at all, Yash. I do no AI for learning. I feel like my philosophy with this is that, the senior engineers that have come before us, or not even engineers, I should say, like senior devs, I guess, before us, they didn't have AI. And for 90% of my learning life, I didn't have AI. So I also I'm not super comfortable with using AI in my learning style, because I feel like it's too prescriptive. It's too spoon feeding, I guess, is the best way of putting it. It's too easy. Even if you're using the AI to give you, explanations of things and whatever, I find it's too easy. It's all kind of, it synthesizes it for you. It's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's convenient, but it doesn't, in my opinion, it limits critical thinking, because when you have to go through the documentation yourself and parse the information yourself rather than having AI parse it for you, it lets you think more about and think more deeply with the information, like, and work with it at a deeper level. Because, like, yeah, you can get AI to summarize something for you, but again, it's you're not really thinking at the same level, because it's just giving it to you. And whereas for me, I'm creating, the LLM in my mind is creating these notes to go through that synthetic process myself, right? Like, that's what these notes are for. I don't know. Again, I'm not anti-AI. If you like AI, all the power to you. Just not my learning style. And again, it's something I'll inevitably have to adopt at some point, I'm sure. But while I can avoid it, I will. So. Yeah, I think there's kind of like, I don't know. I think AI kind of encourages shortcuts, and I don't love it. Yeah, exactly, anime. Or it'll just do that. It won't explain itself well enough, right? And it encourages shortcuts and laziness. In my case, I know that if I used AI, that's what it would encourage within me. Now, if you're different and you think AI, if you can use AI and you like using AI for learning, then that's completely different. Yo, Jay, what's up? Welcome in. Hope you're doing well, my friend. What's your background in CS and programming? Have you taken CS in the past or currently taking it? I have a CS degree, more food, and I also work in IT. So I do have a bit of a CS background. But my CS degree was not very practical. It was a lot more theoretical. So it was a lot more math. Which was good, don't get me wrong. It taught me how to problem solve. Doing great, I hope you are. Yeah, I'm doing great. Got a lot done today for the move, which is good. On my way home from work, nice. Yeah, no, I got a lot done. Packed some more clothes. Did some organization. So yeah, it was a productive day. Although I got a lot of calls, called into a lot of meetings, which was annoying. Because like it's one thing when meetings are scheduled, but it's another thing when like you get called into meetings. Moving far? Yeah, I'm moving pretty far. Blueberries. I'm moving pretty far away. Not far enough to go by plane necessarily, but pretty far. Now it's a valid opinion, but if you tried the use styles option on Claude, you can select learning there instead of giving you the direct answer. It pushes you to do the critical thinking. That is interesting. In fairness, Yash, I have not looked into Claude Code or anything like that. But that is, if that does exist, that is cool. But I personally like, again, like I don't feel like I don't really want to buy Claude Code. I don't really have the budget to buy Claude Code. I don't want to also just from like a standpoint of I don't really want to spend my money on AI. I don't want to give those companies my money. So I don't use those tools. But I mean, again, like as you say, like that sounds really neat. Claude is asked, do not pay for. Yeah, I don't want to give Anthropic my money, nor OpenAI, nor Google, any of these companies, right? I don't want to give them my money personally. But again, it's a valid opinion. Your stance is definitely valid. It's not the same as going through the docs manually and figuring shit out. Yeah, exactly, Ash, exactly. You do use it for learning and definitely get what you mean. I prefer short back and forths with it to understand conceptual things. Yeah, if you need something really quick, Blueberries, it's definitely good. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, there have been a select handful of times that I've used the Copilot agent in our Azure tenant to ask one simple question just because I'm, like, in a rush. But, like, other than that, I don't use it, like, frequently whatsoever. Do not pay Anthropic. Yeah, exactly, Tyler, exactly. Nah, it's free. Is it free? I didn't know it was free. I thought it was paid. It's similar to the way we can alter the style. Okay, so animate DOM elements. Can attach use ref reference modifier functions custom reference. To actions like pressing a button. Yeah, there's a $20 plan. Hold on, let me catch up on chat. You can check it out right now. Just open a new chat in browser and click on the plus icon to choose a style. Oh, interesting. Maybe I'll look into it after stream, Yash. But I won't do that on stream. Yeah, exactly. I knew it was rate limited. Yeah. What do you use? Wait, do you use AI? I don't usually use AI anime. I've used it a handful of times at work for very specific very specific things, but no, I don't use AI. I've used it at work, but that's because it was just like some stupid shit in Azure and I'm like, tell me where this is, you know? Or whatever it is, like some stupid thing. Because we have a Copilot that I can't get rid of in Azure. Gotta love Microsoft, right? Paying for AI is one of the worst things I could do, unless it's something that would really help me. Yeah, I agree. I would never pay for AI, personally, really. Yeah, exactly. Please call it micro slop. Yeah, it is micro slop. 100% agree. And the thing is, too, like, I know for a fact, like, my work machine is an older ThinkPad, okay? I know for a fact Microsoft is slowing it down. Like it's such a slow machine, and it's because of Microsoft. And I know it's just like Windows 11 is garbage on there, and it just sucks. And everything's so bloated, and like the animate, like I don't know, it's all fucked. And I can't like, because it's a enterprise controlled machine, I can't dick around with any of the settings. I understand, but otherwise it's stupid. Yeah, exactly. There's a free version of Claude, yeah. But I bet the rate limit on that is insane, like insanely low. Yeah, so like pressing a button with the on click function or something like that, right? This function sets is animating, so handle start animations here, and then that's attached to the on click of the button. And then you apply this box ref to the div. Okay. Yeah, so something like this, right? Oh, great. It's not going to even be formatted. Jesus Christ. Do function. Shit. Set timeout, says is animating, box ref. Earn. It's outside of that div, right? Or is it within the div? Yeah, it is. Okay. Cool. Yo, my bad, just making food. No worries, Casey. They're such a bully. I truly hate Microsoft these days a lot. Yeah, I agree, Leo. I need to. I want to switch to Linux really bad. I have Windows 11 unfortunately on my main rig because I use it for gaming, but I've just been too lazy to make the switch, to be honest, because I have a bunch of files on there that I just. It's kind of like when you have a really dirty room and you're just like procrastinating on cleaning it, you know, and it's like really messy, and you're like, oh, like I need to clean this room, but like it's just such a friggin', you know, task. Have I tried TanStack? Yeah, I've looked into it, Yash. I've looked into it. So my goal, technically, or my goal going forward, is to finish the Odin project, which has oh, I should go back here. It has 2 more courses. I've got a little databases course and a Node.js course. So I want to get a beginner stance in full stack before I jump into that. But I do plan on using it. I do know that there was some sort of compromise that came, like it was a couple days ago. I sent a link in my Discord about it actually. There was something that went on, something that infected npm packages or something related to TanStack. But yeah, no, I think it's a good framework. Did you wait 5 hours? Jeez. The component to use ref hook, yeah. Okay, so I already have that. Okay, so then we do. So here we do like attach. I guess I need to do it like this, don't I? Attach ref to div, and then we do the modify div ref or div styles via reference. Via ref, I should say. Cool. What's the Odin project? It's a free and open source web development curriculum, Yash. It's basically just like a, that's basically what it is. It's just a web development learning framework. And when I say framework, I don't mean it in like the programming sense. I mean framework literally like as a framework. It just gives you lessons that you can go through to learn full stack development at a beginner to beginner intermediate level. So yeah, I've been using it for the past 4 months of this YouTube channel, almost 4 months. We're coming up on 4 months. On the 20th, it will be 4 months. Which is kind of crazy, actually. We've gotten like over 1,100 subs in 4 months. It's like crazy. My original goal for this channel was actually to get 1,000 subs by the end of the year. We hit it in like 3 months, which is super awesome. But anyway. Okay, so let's see. So that's awesome, anime. Yeah, I will say there are some in chat, you know who you are, who do not like macOS. But I think macOS, even though it's like proprietary and it's whatever, it's very heavily used and it is Unix based. So and there's a huge ecosystem like for developing apps and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Didn't want to call Tyler out there, but you know, we all can have our opinions, of course. You know, and I get where Tyler's coming from. Like I get why people don't like macOS. I just like it because and until to say like it isn't even one thing. It's because it's Unix based and it also has you know, you have the ability to develop iOS apps natively, and it's better for development overall than Windows. Let it be known for it is written, exactly. I don't know, and plus Apple Silicon is just really slick. I really like the hardware, at least compared to, you know, and plus like the build quality of my MacBook Pro is just like unparalleled. I really do enjoy the Mac or the Apple ecosystem as far as how cohesive it is. And I'm somebody who also values, at least when it comes to main device drivers, like ease of use. And macOS to me is very easy. Like I'll sacrifice customization and control for ease of use in certain cases. However, if Mac starts to go the way of Microslop, as Leo affectionately referred to it as, then, you know, maybe I'd reconsider, right? But right now, it's, I mean, and some could argue it's already going that way, but is Odin only a web dev learning platform? It is for now, anime, yeah. It's full stack, so you can learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, Node.js. That's the stack. It's technically it's a Pern. Is it Pern? Postgres, Express, Node, React, or React Node? Because I think it uses Postgres as the database. I'm pretty sure in the Node.js. I was skimming through some of the lessons. You also notice how we're conditionally adding a CSS class. Okay. And then is animating is where? Oh, that's a state. Okay. Using state to check. Whoops. macOS is good. Yeah. Just getting MacBook for battery life. That's the other thing too, is it's incredible battery life. I will say I keep my MacBook plugged in constantly, and then I limit it at 80%. And it doesn't really negatively affect the battery to not let it drain. But I do take it, you know, around. I've taken it to cafes and stuff like that a couple times. To get some work done. And the battery, like for me, usually on when I left, like from 80% all the way to 0, like I can go days without charging it. It depends on how much I use it, but I would say probably like on screen time, at least 10 hours, at least. You have a MacBook? Yes, I do. I have a new command for that. Exclamation mark specs or laptop. There you go. Yeah, so then okay, so then the state check and then is used to modify CSS for animation. I.e. add is animating class. Yeah, so something like this, right? Dang, I'm 2 minutes behind stream. I don't know why that happens for some folks. I don't know. I don't know why that happens. All right. Where else can I go? With refs, we can minimize the aforementioned unexpected behavior since it allows us to create a reference to any DOM element. Access properties and methods in a more controlled and efficient way. Use ref allows for DOM access or DOM element access in a more controlled and efficient way. 14-inch display is too small, bro. How do you manage? I manage portability over over screen size. I like the lower weight. Is it heavy? It's not too bad, anime. But I should say, Yash, I do have, like, on my desk setup, I have a 27-inch monitor that I'm using. Like, so this screen that you're seeing here is my 27-inch Acer gaming monitor. And then I have chat on my Mac display, and then I have another portable monitor over here. 16-inch monitor, just for, like, it has another browser open, so if I need to Google stuff, like, in private, I can do it over here. So I have 3 monitors when I stream, which is kind of neat. Usually, though, when I work off stream, I only use just the 2. Yeah, it's not bad, exactly. And like 80% of the time that I'm using my MacBook, Yash, I'm at my desk. So I usually just use my MacBook built-in display as like a secondary, like, side display, and then I use my 27-inch display as my main one. So, all right, let's go through this last article. And so I have to note that this is an older article too. So this might have some outdated information because 2019 is like 7 years old. But I'll just go skim through it and see if there's any poignant information. I invested in a monitor arm to hold my 2 monitors and it was so worth it. Yeah, I actually this is like, okay, never do this, guys. I just ordered because I have my Mac on, or not my Mac, I have my monitor on just its default stand. But I just ordered a monitor arm because I know when I move, I'm going to want it. So I just ordered a monitor arm for like $40 on Amazon. It's off topic. Which games do I enjoy? I play games casually, Leo. So like Minecraft, I play a lot with friends. I've been playing a lot of Factorio recently. I know that's an older game. I've played the shit out of Terraria. I play Stardew Valley with my girlfriend. I really enjoy that one. A lot of like basic games. I don't really game like heavily. Way back in the day, I used to really love like Team Fortress and all these things. Ever played Planet Coaster? Yes. I played the original Planet Coaster. I know there's a second one. Oh, also speaking of Planet Coaster, I also play City Skylines as well. I love, and then there's this new game that came out called Metropolis 1998 that I want to get. Which is like an new old city builder. That game teaches you systems thinking. Exactly. I haven't actually beaten Factorio, but I've been replaying it. I got Factorio probably 10 years ago, and I've just been replaying it. Yeah, exactly. I'm on a bit of a Minecraft kick lately. I have my own when I have the time, which is not much, usually right before bed or something, I'll hop onto I have a single player Minecraft world that I'm playing right now. You live the life I want to live. I appreciate that, anime. Yeah, exactly. You totally should, Blueberries. You should. Yeah, it's I play Minecraft. I have a server with my friends that I don't play very often, but I play on my own as well. And I don't take it very seriously. I kind of just like I've been playing Minecraft for so long that I've like beaten the game a nauseating number of times. So I just like, you know, I have like the basic stuff, like the villager breeder setup, and then I just kind of like build stuff. Like I don't really take it serious. I don't try to like achievement max or anything like that. I just kind of chill. Like right now I'm working on this library tower. Yeah, me too. Me too. If you guys are interested in gaming, maybe I could make a little gaming channel in the Discord or something. We could talk about gaming. Used to play CS2, Valorant, Rainbow Six. Nice. Yeah, I don't play arena shooters as much. But used to play in Tier 2 Valorant esports not too long ago. That's awesome, Yash. I have 1K hours in Valorant. Fair. Yeah, I see. I don't know what it was. I think it's because I was not allowed to play like shoot 'em up games until I was like 18. But I just like never got into them. Dang, I spent a while here. Got to carry my 6 hours learning for the productive day plan. Sounds good, anime. Well, if you have to go, my friend, then you can go. But I appreciate you coming by. All right, let's see. If you played React hooks for more than a few hours, you probably ran into an intriguing problem. Okay, so let's see. Set interval just doesn't work. Come to see it. No, there's a flaw. Set interval. Hooks become closer to there. What do we want to get out of this? Get to know more about its use cases in a great article. Okay, so it's just about use case of use ref. Okay. This post focus on a pathological case. Look at how to make intervals and hooks play well together, why the solution makes sense, and which new capabilities it can give you. Sounds good, Leo. I appreciate you sticking around. But yeah, no, I actually might. I'm thinking about that. I might make a gaming channel. We could talk about that. Here's a counter that increments every second. Okay. The use interval isn't built in React hook. Okay, so then you write the custom hook. If you did, I'd watch it. Bet. Okay, sounds good. Blueberries. I meant more so like channel like to discuss gaming. You have a girlfriend? Yes, I do. I'm actually moving in with my girlfriend. We're moving in together. If you ever make a gaming channel, let us know in the Discord. I will. Don't worry. However, with work, I don't know if I have the time to do that. If I do a gaming channel, it'll probably be like Minecraft, Terraria. One other one that I want to get back into is Roller Coaster Tycoon. I love Roller Coaster Tycoon. I was huge into that game when I was a kid. I played Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 on CD-ROM when I was like 7. That's probably dates me a little bit. But I played it. I had a CD-ROM of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. That is the OG, yup. Yup. On the family computer, 2007, 2008. I mean, by then Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 was out, but like we didn't have Steam. Like 2008, like Steam didn't exist. Maybe it did, but I didn't know about it. The internet was like new still, kind of like, I don't know. At least to me it was new. My use interval hook sets up an interval and clears it after I'm mounting. Okay, yeah, so alright, let's just take a 5-minute break here, even though, you know, I'm kind of not working super in depth, but that's okay, I don't really mind. Only crack game exists via pen drive. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. If you wanted to get any PC game, like, you had to go to the store and get it on a CD-ROM, like a disc. Right? Like, there were other games, too. Like, my dad played Flight Simulator back in the day. Yeah, like 2007, 2008. My dad had, even though he's not a pilot or anything, he had this setup where he had like the pilot controls and stuff, and you play Flight Simulator 20 or whatever it was, like 2007 or whatever year it was. When I was a kid, I was a Roblox addict, like back when it was way less popular. Dang. Yeah, I never played Roblox. I don't even know if maybe I'm too old for Roblox. I don't know. HOTAS setup? I don't know what that stands for, Tyler. But it's like the controls. It's like the pilot controls. It was basically, and he had like a pedal and stuff. How old am I? I'm 25, Yash. But yeah. So I'm like an old Gen Z, I guess. It's a flight sims. Yeah, exactly, Tyler. Yeah, my dad had that. We actually still have it. HOTAS, got you. You were playing it back in like 2015, got you, yeah. Okay, 2015, like, I was already like in high school. What was I playing then? Probably like we were playing a lot of my friends and I played the shit out of Binding of Isaac back then. Binding of Isaac Rebirth. And we played at lunch. That was so fun. We played a lot of roguelike games during that era. It was like Binding of Isaac, and then there was another one too that I forget. It wasn't Hades, but it was like that. It was similar. Did you play the OG Counter-Strike 1.6? No, I wasn't. When I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to play like shooter games because you know, grew up religious, type thing. But we got around it a little bit. But if it was like blatant, like I couldn't get it. Like we had a PS3, and like I really wanted to get Half-Life and stuff like that, but I just couldn't. You didn't have a 360 or anything, but I had a Wii. That was it. You should try Valorant to still get hooked on it. Yeah, I don't know if I'd actually like arena shooters though. I don't know if it's my thing. I'm also garbage at them. I'm really terrible at shooters. But I mean, yeah. Like I played Fortnite like once ever. I was just like not good. I know that's different. I know it's like third person, but it's more like a battle royale type game. But no, I played Team Fortress because Team Fortress, or Team Fortress 2, I should say, TF2, because that was like the early days of when I had Steam, and my parents like didn't monitor because I had my own. At this point, I had my own laptop. I got my first laptop when I was like 12 or 13. I think it was 13 maybe. I don't know. It was like grade 8 or something. And so I played that on there. It was like a Dell. It was like a Dell brick. It was, used. Had like a second gen i7 in it or some garbage. It had Windows 8. Um, but yeah, I played that with one of my friends. So that was like as far as shooter games, it's like the furthest I ever got. So I don't know. We also like in school like played like I don't know if you guys remember like cool math games or like mini clip and what was it, Armor Games and all those like free game sites. Played a shit ton of that too. But anyway, I digress. You never heard about? Yeah, you're probably too young, Yash. Unless you're older than me. Unless you're well older than me. You're either way younger than me or way older than me. Because that would make sense, I guess. I was a teacher's kid and I used to use my mom's admin pass. Nice. No, I'm 21. Oh, dang. Okay, so you're not that much younger. But there is a difference. Like, I'm 25, going to be 26 this year, so, you know. Anyway, why use intervals? Better API. Okay, so this is this custom use interval. Okay. I don't honestly know. Okay, so Why you wouldn't necessarily control the delay with an input adjusting it dynamically. So there's probably a point where there's a user ref in here, right? So you have the hook. Okay, so you have the hook and then you're doing this. Okay, let me go back to the hook definition. And then the hook uses use effect, right? You have the saved callback, which has a use ref in it. Okay. Okay, yeah. Illustrates a use case of references to create a custom use interval hook that updates state based on a given delay. Recently, there's one game on Cool Math Games, I can't remember what it was called, but it had the snail and you could do these puzzles. Snail Bob, nice. Yeah, I don't remember that one. The one I played most was Gravity Guy. I played the shit out of Gravity Guy. And Lava Boy and Water Girl. Or was it the other way around? Lava Girl, Water Boy. It was something like that. Recently quit esports and got back into coding, and I've actually been working on a project of my own with React with Zustand, TanStack, and Rust for backend. That's awesome, Yash. That's really cool. I actually used Zustand in my last project for state management. Just to mimic, I made a little mock shopping cart app. And I used Zustand just to manage the cart state. It's pretty nifty, I would say. Nifty is like a very old term, but you know. Okay. I'm kind of just skimming this because we don't need to go super in detail. So you wrap the, okay, so you wrap the hook being a nicer API at least. Why is using center interval and clear interval annoying with hooks? So is set interval, okay, I see. So set interval and clear interval, are those like, are these built into React? Oh, they are. Okay. As opposed to using the React set interval and clear interval functions. Okay, yeah. That's nice. All right, good luck with the rest of the session. I'm gonna go sleep. It's almost 6 a.m. Yeah, no worries, Yash. Appreciate you coming by. Thanks for chatting. Okay, so then this is basically aligning his attempts to go through this. So you set interval and then clear interval. But does he use set and clear interval within the custom hook? Can't find it. Here it is. Oh, he does. Okay. Set interval and clear interval types of JavaScript functions. Oh, really? Okay, that's actually helpful. I didn't know that they were. I thought it was something else. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. I thought if you use set interval though, maybe you have to like. Oh yeah, I guess that is JavaScript. I do recall seeing that in JavaScript. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks, Jay. Might know that use effects. You got it. Problem was rerunning the effects, blah, 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 okay. Use effect captures the count from the first render. You reapply the effects of the closure set interval always opens the count from the first render. Okay. Seems like a very esoteric problem to make us go through. Maybe not. Maybe it isn't. Ah, okay. Yeah, so basically what this is useful for is the ref keeps that kind of count persistent, right? So you put the count into a ref, maybe? Function takes saved callback. And then where's the ref declared? Saved callback is useRef. Oh, and then you put the set count inside of the... You put the state updater or the state setter inside of this function that you then set to this reference. Interesting. I'm just kind of skimming this. Just because I feel like, again, this is kind of a weird problem. But yeah, so you basically are using the useRef to remember the... This is okay. This is partially why I hate JavaScript too. This is another I hate JavaScript moment for sure. Something to do with the count. So you have the count, but then because of the way that React renders, React updates state until it doesn't actually update the state variable until after the render when you try to access it, which causes trouble with the set interval. So then instead you put the setter inside of a callback, which is a reference. We can always read the callback that was set after the last render and call it from the interval tick. Yeah. That's kind of weird. All right. I think I'll leave it there. You can create powder up from... All right. I'll leave it there because it's not really, I mean... All right, go through React compiler docs to learn a bit more about it and find out. Okay, so the following questions are an opportunity to reflect on. Okay, so yeah. Why should you prefer the user extract over other DOM manipulation methods? Because of side effects that are unintended side effects. Use hashing when it's an expensive operation, and what is React compiler? Auto memoizes, auto cache. Okay, good. All right, conclusion. I don't know. I don't want to spend too long. Like, this node is already 1,500 words. I mean, that includes code that we have in here, but all right, conclusion. You're officially a React guru. I doubt it. Okay, so what's next? After completing the Odin project, you may be interested in learning about how React meta frameworks, which are built on top of React, to allow developers to make full use of React. So that's kind of like, would a meta? What the hell is a meta framework? Is that like Next and all that shit? Okay. Like Next and TanStack and stuff. I guess this won't have TanStack in it. It's too old. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Cool. All right. As well as providing first-class support for things like routing, data fetching, completing the databases course and Node.js course will be the perfect foundation for diving deeper into this stuff. You can also keep up with the future of React by following the React RFC GitHub repository. Is React? I guess it is open source, right? Yeah. Interesting. Using a backend, as you've seen, patterns.dev is an exceptional resource that will help you build better React apps by leveraging powerful patterns. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is actually something to save for sure. React patterns, view patterns. View is just another like React-like thing. Saving as well. Yeah, it looks cool. It's so like basically if there's something that you have going, like you have like a factory or not 100%. So route-based splitting, dynamically load components based on the current route. Half of these I couldn't even tell you what they are, but they look cool. I know singletons, that's easy. Or mixin is like kind of including a mixin is an object that we can use in order to add reusable functionality to another. Is that not kind of like composition? Is mixin not like composition? I don't know. But anyway, that's cool. Render props, compound, client-side rendering, server-side rendering, static rendering. React server components. Isn't that something with... isn't there something with TanStack where there's like server components? I don't know. I was looking a little bit into TanStack off stream. There's something where you can like declare a TanStack, whatever it is, like when you're using TanStack, where you can declare a component as like server, or a function, I guess, is a server function. I don't know. As you've seen, you can get your apps to do a lot of pretty cool things already just using client-side JS. You may have noticed though. Your app forgets the user preferences. Yeah, of course. This approach does not allow for the app to remember anything. Obviously, you've come very far and you should be proud of yourself. Well, I mean, I don't know. Do we do the feedback survey or do we leave it? I think we probably leave it. I'm going to look at, I just want to see. Nah, I'm gonna fucking leave that. I don't care. They aren't wrong. Oh, you mean I should be proud of myself? I see. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know, 82 days to get this far. Pretty much 81 and a half, I guess. You should be proud. I should be. Now, the question is, am I proud? I don't know. Maybe a little bit. I'm proud of this community that I've built and all of you guys watching. That's more what I'm proud about than anything else. Anyway, all right, that's it. React is done as far as I am concerned because I could muddle on React for however long. I could just futz around on these lessons and go really down the rabbit hole, but I don't really want to hold it up any longer. I thought that finishing that off would take me one stream. It took me a stream and a half. I need to commit and sync this. And then I'll move this over to my other monitor and we'll start the databases course. This is going to be pretty simple, I think, for me. I work with databases in my job, although not as much lately. I've been involved in some other projects that are more related to, if anything, it's more like DevOps related. Not really DevOps, kind of DevOps. I don't know. I can't really say what it is, but it's more so like Azure tenant administration and automations and stuff like that. You'll do this in half a Pomo? Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. I may finish it in the rest of the stream. Okay. So let's do this. Databases. You might have wondered how you keep track of all your users' data. Blah, 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 blah. Cat lover. Hidden in the back of the web application. How SQL data can be used. I'm just going to this is all fine. Okay, that's how SQL can be used to organize and manage an overwhelming amount of data. Holy bright. This is very bright. Okay, so let's just skim through this. The importance of data, yada, yada, yada. Okay, I already know this. I'm not trying to be arrogant, I promise. This is stuff that I already... how do I get rid of this ls bot thing? I want this here. I want this ls bot, bro. I get rid of it? There we go. Okay. Structured data. So we put it in tables where you have columns, and then the columns have usually a data type. And then I don't think we're gonna get into normalization in this. And then you have different tables, which are also entities. And then usually there's a primary key, like the ID or something else that's unique. Uniquely identifying to an entry. Spreadsheet is a whole bunch. Yeah, okay, the rows and columns. Relational database. Organized according to the relational model. And then you also can have foreign keys too, which are essentially keys that act as pointers to other entities within a certain... So if you have entity A, and then you give it a foreign key to entity B, where you have a member of entity A that's associated with entity B. And then you can have different types of relationships, like a one-to-one relation, one-to-many, many-to-many, these things. Okay. I'm kind of just riffing off random databases knowledge that I have in the back of my head. Relational model sets a set of relations which you can think of analogous to tables and describes their relationships or connections between them. Yes. So Postgres, MS SQL. Gotta love that. Even though that's not even what we use. I think we honestly like at work it's something called DAX. It's not even SQL. Data analysis expressions. So instead of SQL, we use DAX, which is basically you know, it's kind of like SQL, but it's kind of like Excelified almost. You know, you can do a lot of stuff with DAX queries specifically. So if you have like a table and like this is like Power BI or something like this, or like Power Query, then you can write like your queries up here, and sometimes even the queries are a drag and drop. Like we don't even do this at work. Like we would do like there are sometimes drag and drop queries. I guess this is like query writing, but you can do drag and drop. But anyway, I digress. Okay. Looks like XAMPP. I don't even know what that is. XAMPP. Web server solution stack. Oh, Apache. Okay. I've heard of Apache before. Holy Christ. Yeah, that looks old, like PHP. Yeah, okay. Lightweight, easy to use, while there's a robust, scalable, but complex to install. It's worth noting that the relational model is not the only structure. MongoDB is no SQL. Do SQL too. Database client that looks similar. Got you. Select, insert, update, and delete. Oh, this is a whole ass book. Okay, you don't need to go any further than the first page on introductions. This is a whole book. I didn't realize this was an entire SQL book. Huh. Anyway. Why learn SQL? Okay, I don't think we need to worry about that. Another way you may have learned SQL is through a programming language like Python or Ruby. Okay. Cool. Watch short video, not watching the video. Go through this Khan Academy SQL tutorial. Am I familiar with Docker? Yeah, a little bit, Jay. I used Docker, or I played around with Docker when my friend was using it in school like a year ago. He had a bunch of Docker containers doing stuff on his Kubernetes cluster, which is like his home server. It was kind of fucked. I don't know. But I'm familiar with the concept. It's kind of like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm still not 100% on what the difference between a container and a VM is. Like I think a container is just like kind of like it's got its own like dedicated RAM or something, but it's basically a process with dedicated RAM. I don't know. I'm not an expert at containers and stuff. Let's see. Let's just like skim through this video. The world is full of data, blah 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 blah. Okay, so then we have a pointer to primary key. Container shares host kernel, VM does not. Oh, I got you, Tyler. Comes in handy for DevOps. Yeah, I probably should. I might do that after the backend stuff. Creating a table and inserting data.
Welcome to my database.
Okay, I don't need to. Okay, so she's gonna make it. Create table, groceries. Insert into groceries value. Okay. All right, so I'll take a break and then I'll finish this just for the sake of going through it. Actually, I don't know. We'll see if I can finish the I don't know. We'll see. It's not in Odin. It's primarily used for database setup. Ah, okay. Okay. That makes sense because you would have to connect a database to, is it, okay. Would it encompass so does the database run in a Docker container then? Like on a server? So like, for example, if you have like, server, then you have like You have different Docker containers, like one for the server, like the backend, and then you have another container for the database, or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Also, this is killing me. Is there no way to? I guess there's no like dark mode on this guy. Think of it as a cargo ship, hence the logo. All those containers allow you to ship a project. Ah, I see. It does, and the server is localized to your machine. Ah, okay. But you can theoretically have like a VM on hardware at, you know, like for example, if you have like cloud infrastructure, right, like AWS or whatever it is, and then you, because I haven't actually worked like this part of like backend web dev before, so like then you'd have like maybe a virtual machine through AWS, and then you'd have that Docker set up on that server or whatever it is. You can add many services to one container. Got you. Okay. Yeah, I think, is there a way, like, let's just check out Docker, if I can type properly. Does it have its own tutorial? Oh, it's paid. For individual developers who need the essential tools. That's not terrible anyway. Is there a way to, yeah, documentation. So there is like a manual that I can go through. You haven't paid a dime ever? Fair, yeah. Yeah, so we have the manuals, overview. Get AI to help you. Shut up, I don't want AI. That's the other thing. Gordon, your AI assistant for Docker. Docker desktop. Okay, so maybe like at some point I could go through this and, you know, give it a shot. You don't even have to sign in to use it? Yeah, fair. I just want there to be like, oh, there's a Docker workshop. Okay, cool. So maybe I'll do this Docker workshop at some point. Docker Compose, got you. Okay. I think I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to go through this Docker. I'm going to add this to my learning resources. And then go through this at some point. Maybe after the Node.js lesson. So I don't think it would hurt to like go through this little lesson here with this little workshop. Thanks for letting me know about that, Jay. I probably maybe would have found out about that anyway, but like, and it's like, again, it's something that's like in my consciousness, but like I didn't know like exactly what it was for, right? Yeah, so it's like, yeah. Like I've heard of it before. It's one of those things you've heard about, but like you don't, know what it is necessarily. Like Linux to me, like 3 years ago, pretty much. Or it's like something I had heard of, but. All right, let's finish this databases. I don't think I can do all of this in one Pomo because I kind of want to not take my time, but I think I could probably finish these two, and then we could do SQL Zoo or SQL Zoo next stream or something, because I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how far we get in the last 25 minutes here of the stream. Okay, so we got book list database. You make a database to store them in. The first step, create a table to store your list of books. You should have columns for ID, name, and rating. Okay, so it was like create table. Okay, so it's create table. Okay. Create table books, book, And then it was like, I haven't done freaking SQL in a minute. And then it was like ID. Okay, yeah, ID, and then it was the type there. Okay. And then there's a way to generate. I know there's a SQL, a way to generate UUIDs, right? Unique identifier, maybe. Yeah, unique identifier default, new ID, or something like this. Like we could even do this. And then we have the name is a does that not, can you not do that? Maybe this little stupid compiler thing won't let me do that. Please insert one at boo. Okay, whatever. I'll just do integer. Name, and then it's a character large object. You could also do a string. I don't think you actually can. You do strings? Oh, it's text. Okay. And then rating integer. Okay. Good. Now add 3. So we'll say insert into books values 1 a 1. Wait, what's the problem here? I do. Or is it value? No. That was the right thing. Insert into. Oh, I don't have a semicolon after this. That's why. Brother. Oh, is it because I have duplicate? That's why. Duplicate IDs. Stupid. Okay. Querying the table. Select all where aisles greater than 5 order by. Okay. Contains an incomplete list of box office hits in the release year. In this challenge, you're going to get the results back out of the database in different ways. Just select all the movies. I don't think you actually have to have these capitalized. Now add a second query after the first, where year is greater than a release year, I guess. Greater than or equal to 2000. You modified your original select? Oh, dude. What is with the autocorrect here? There we go. Jesus. Okay. Aggregating data. Select sum from groceries group by. Okay, so we're basically just getting certain selecting specific attributes from the column. Okay. Here's a table containing a to-do list with the number of minutes it will take to complete each item. Insert another item into your to-do list with an estimated minutes it will take. Can it just be anything? There's something weird with this. Like whenever I press I, it like auto caps it, which is stupid. And when I do an N-I, I don't know, it does something weird. Also, I hate this little green bastard. It's so annoying. Okay, anyway. Finishing. Yeah, so when I do N-I, it just like... I don't know what's wrong. I'm not even typing Odin or Odin Databases. So say 45. Okay. Jesus Christ. Select the sum of minutes it will take to do all your items on your to-do list. You should only have one select statement. Select minutes. Yeah, there's some autocorrect happening here. From to-do list. And then there was a sum aggregate. Hold on, what was the... Oh, sum. Okay, yeah. It's just here. Is that not it? And then it's just group by minutes. Yeah, whenever I type IN, it does INI. Or NI. I don't know. Stupid. Oh, is this like broken? What do they do? Oh, it's probably Brave. Might be blocking it, I wonder. I don't know. Start over. Dude, what the fuck? My stream die? No. What the hell's wrong with this site? Site's down, man. Hard refresh, yeah. Yeah, okay, so I exited the tab. I don't know, this is a dog shit. SQL Online IDE. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Maybe this is too much. Khan Academy is great for math. This is terrible. Yeah, it's ass. It also doesn't let you do... can I like just make a new table? Okay, but I don't want this demo. Delete. No, but I want to change the schema. Can I edit this? Dude, what the... I just want to write, like, SQL fiddle, maybe? I don't care. I'll accept... Let's just do Postgres. Ah, okay, this is what I want, right? Okay, so let's do this. Create your own store. We should sell... You should sell... Let's just... I don't give a shit, you know? You should sell one type of things, like clothing or bikes. This is great grammar, by the way. whatever you want to store, you specialize in. Okay, so let's sell computer store. Sure. And then you know, and then we'll have ID as a primary or integer unique identifier. Was that what it was? For feels so behind. Okay, let's see. Dude, I feel oh, it's just all one word. Okay. And then it was like primary key default new ID. Ah, yeah. Maybe this doesn't work in this. I wonder if we can just do like name. We'll just do like CPU as text, something like this. Until, because this it shouldn't yeah, it does not exist. Okay, I didn't think so. So something like this, right? Oh, and you gotta like wait seconds and shit. And then we could like query it, of course. Okay, so we'll have like a CPU. What else do we want in our store? You should have a table for all the items in your store, and at least 5 columns for the kind of data you think you need to store. You should sell at least 15 items. So let's do CPU RAM as an integer. GPU as text. Fucking what else? Motherboard as text. Power supply or something. Price? Oh yeah, price, true. Okay, so let's just do Intel i9. We'll just do 16, and then the RAM will be in gigabytes. 16, we'll do like NVIDIA 4060 or something, I don't know. Motherboard is like MSI. And then price is like 1500, I don't fucking know. And then we need to like insert in a bunch of these. Can I do like, no. This would be a great use case for AI, but you know. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's just use AI for this to generate 15 items. Give me 15 items based on this table. There we go. You made it to the databases. I did. This is where you use AI, guys. Yeah, mock data. Exactly. Okay, there we go. Thank you. All right, now what does it want us to do? And use select statements to order your items by price. Right, okay. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so we want to order it by price. So we'll do select all columns from computer store order by price. And then show at least one statistic. What do you mean show one statistic? Like, low-key leak code SQL questions are good if you ever need a refresher before interviews. Yeah, I'm honestly rusty on SQL. I haven't used basic SQL since like school. So it's been like a year. Actually, over a year. Because I use DAX, which like is like Excel basically. There, so now they're ordered by price, which is what we wanted, right? Then we could do another query. We could say like, let's say we wanted to find only, let's say we wanted 32 gigabytes of RAM, but also a computer that's under $2,000 or under 2,500. So we'll say select from computer store where price is less than 2,500 and RAM is greater than or equal to 32, right? So I don't know if that, yeah, so that worked here. So now we have computers that are less than 2,500 and have RAM that's greater than or equal to 32 gigs. You have to use SQL, you don't want the job, yeah. So there we go. There's the end of that. It was pretty easy, pretty basic stuff. Okay. So I think that counts. That's good enough. Relational databases aren't the only way to store data, blah, blah, blah. Difference between SQL and NoSQL. Is it NoSQL? Like, now we're in relational algebra. Yeah, exactly. You're taking a class that has to use C++, where you have to write C++ that runs on multiple platforms and it's performance optimized. Everyone struggles with the class mainly because of how much time it demands. Yeah, that's crazy, Direct. I didn't touch C++ once in my degree. Wouldn't price be less than or equal to? You could do it less than or equal to. You could do that too. Because there might be, that might add like a 1 or 2 here. Although I don't think that actually changed the query. No, it didn't. Because I don't think there's actually a computer with exactly 2,500. No worries, Casey. You could do that if you want to do. This is just inclusive 20. Like if you wanted strictly less than 2,500, you would just do, you know, that. But yeah. Okay. This is like basic. SQL databases, relational, and then you can have relationships between records using foreign keys. Relation is represented as a table with each tuple in relation, making up a row called a record. You know, it's robust, NoSQL. 4 to 6 hours would definitely be in the failing camp. Yeah, that's crazy. You can't spend that much time on one course. That's fucked. Yeah, I mean, JMac, for your case, it makes sense, right? To use C++, but okay, let's see. Another source of confusion is there's no single definition of a NoSQL database. Okay, let's see. So MongoDB, I knew this actually about MongoDB. Document stores, look at the most traditional. It's no schema, no normalization. Yeah, it's essentially like MongoDB stores like JSON, right? It's like object data, basically. That's my naive understanding. You don't want to exit college and run up something in an interview and then never saw before? That's fair, Direct. They say you should read the book written by the guy who made C++, but I only use what I need in the class. Yeah, I mean, you just got to survive, man. Graph database. People are represented as nodes and the relationships between them are edges. That's interesting. I didn't actually think about that. That's kind of cool. You can represent a graph as a database. Key value, which is just like a dictionary basically, right? Wide column, key holds access to the columns. Value can consist of billions of columns. Imagine a schemaless SQL database. I almost forgot. Pretty sure you can store JSON in PostgreSDB. Oh, fair. Could you not store JSON as like a blob? Or not a blob. I guess you could as a blob too. Or a clob. Character large object. Like you could probably just store the JSON like as an attribute in a table, right? Like you could just do like clob, I think, or something. Well, maybe that's not on this one, but maybe this doesn't have as fine-tuned control. At least I recall when we had to do databases 2 years ago, we had to use DB2. And if you know anything about DB2, it's old as hell. It was released in 1983. I don't know if you can see that. 1983. Shit's crazy. People who want to do game dev have to pass the class. We can't graduate. There's only one teacher in this class. All those are NoSQL. Yeah, Jay. The guy did work on Mortal Kombat. That's kind of cool. I've never heard of Dynamo. I've heard of MongoDB. Amazon's Dynamo, DB. All those are NoSQL. NewSQL. Sometimes NoSQL is your only option. So is this NewSQL like kind of both? Solves the challenge of SQL remaining SQL base. These types of database. Oh, okay. Yo, how's it going, Sans? He's kind of based though. He says new kids use AI are cooked. Yeah, I mean, I think if you solely rely on AI, you're cooked. How's it going, R3? R3M? We use Oracle DB located with control, yeah. I just realized you're using the Brave search instead of Google search. Yeah, I am now. I switched to Brave. I switched over to Brave, which I'm actually enjoying. I'm kind of like browser hopping a little bit, but I've stuck with Brave for a bit. I don't know if I'll stay with it, but I like it for now. I want to stay Chromium for development, but I found that Helium was kind of behind as far as the compatible Chrome version, and I wanted something more up to date that wasn't Chrome. So Brave was like the only option. SQL is a good strong all-rounder. Yeah. More specialized work. No, for example, Redis is being a popular choice. Don't worry, one day you get into distro hopping, that's where the true time wasting starts. Yeah, I'm already thinking about that, JMac, because like I've been procrastinating on switching my main gaming rig over to Linux, because for a couple reasons. One, I want to choose the right distribution. Two, I have a shit ton of files on there I need to go through and like clean up and back up and shit, and I just like haven't had the time with like the move and all that stuff. So but I've been thinking about it for a while. Because I do eventually want to like ditch Windows completely. Because I don't get all the games that I play are like low spec. Like it's like Minecraft, like Stardew Valley, Factorio, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Like all these like games that I play, or like any other kind of management game or sandbox or whatever it is. Like those are all playable on Linux, or at least most of them should be. It's the people that need like the highly graphics intensive shooters that really have trouble with switching, I think. Yeah, Redis has become a popular choice for caching. I've heard of this actually. Avoid pursuing the latest and greatest. Both SQL and NoSQL are useful software development. It's crucial to integrate them effectively into development workflow. CI/CD, I've heard of CI/CD. Database changes are automatically tested and deployed, leading to more reliable and efficient development. Cool. All right. I think that's good for this. And we'll finish off this databases course tomorrow. Man, now that you're seeing it, I'm actually having conflicts in domain complexity with SQL and relations. It's an entire thing you must understand. Not only queries, but also appropriate DB modeling. Yeah. The problem is, like, when I work with databases and work, and the thing is we don't get to really decide the schemas. Like, those are just kind of given to us. You have to beat my procrastination for real. I haven't had any internships yet, and I saw a guy who's bad at Python land a quant role. That's crazy. A ridiculous amount of bugs and issues. Yeah, exactly, Sans. That's true. I want to be able to build a Death Star replica or something in my backyard. And these people who are on paycheck. Oh yeah. No, I mean, you'll get there, Direct. Don't worry. It'll come. And if you want to, and then, this is just a suggestion, but I don't know how my streams relate to your time zone necessarily, but if you want to, like, you could even just use my stream as a timer where, like, you can kind of, like, follow the Pomodoro I do and then, like, kind of just, like, work alongside me, whether it's you watching a VOD or, whatever. You could do that, or you could just set up Pomodoro in general. Just, like, set aside some time to, knock some stuff out. You want to have the money to have a fun, spontaneous life full of fun and learning experiences? I'm sure you will, Direct. You'll get there, especially if you're young. It takes time. You have to finish school, and then you have to, get that internship and all these things, right? But it'll come, I'm sure. But anyway, that's gonna be it, I think, for today's stream. I know it was kind of boring again, but I had fun hanging out with chat and talking to you guys. But so I think tomorrow I'll probably spend the first half of stream finishing off this stuff, which shouldn't take too long. So this is getting into more of the relational querying, right? So there's an interactive tutorial. That's cool. We can do this. And then we'll get on to Node after that. In your mid-20s? Okay, so you're the same age as me, but still, that's used to compare myself to these tech bros who got in the six figures at Meta. Well, if it's any consolation, Direct, like, we're probably around the same age. I'm not making anywhere close to what these LARPers are making, okay? And I say LARP, I like the word LARP. It's like a new Gen Z-ism that I've come across. It's like these guys that are, like, basically just role-playing and faking their way to success, right? And Cali or Bust Tech Bros, yeah. See ya, Casey. Went to community college before the pandemic. It cost me 4 years. Damn. Yeah, I mean, I did a biology degree before I did my CS degree, Direct, so, it wasn't a straight path for me either. Or a direct path, I should say. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you want to follow my journey, feel free to subscribe. Yeah, I have a friend who actually is a Cali tech bro, so I know what you're saying. Anyway, I'll be live tomorrow again. That was back when you dreaded school. Yeah, I mean, everyone dreaded school over the pandemic, right? But yeah. Anyway, I'll be live again tomorrow, same time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. However, after tomorrow's live stream will be the last live until at least Monday, the 18th of May. So just as a heads up, I'm taking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off for moving. And I'll probably be back Monday, but no guarantees. I'll let you know in the Discord. Thanks for coming. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for all the support lately, and I will see